of our work should be based upon how to make our children and our families and our communities resilient. And this young man is the perfect example of how resiliency works so that we can plant the seeds for our children to succeed. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sapenter.
Look, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a dream that you had no idea how it will become a reality, but you just believe that somehow it will work out? Like, have you ever set a goal so ridiculous when all of reality would tell you that it doesn't make sense to have the goal or dream, but you do it anyway, right? So 10 years ago, I wrote down these goals. I had just come from the biggest business failure of my life. I was 25 years old, and it seemed like the world was falling apart. But I wrote down a list of goals. Some of those goals were I wanted to marry this girl, Kimberly Hudgens. We ended up buying our first home. I wrote a book, and all of these things, they just came to reality. But there was one goal that I had wrote down 10 years ago that had yet to become a reality. See, when I decided that I wanted to be able to share my story, when I said, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, and I don't know if people care, I don't know if I have anything of value to offer, but something is telling me that I have to share my story so that I can help people in this foster care system, so that I can help kids going through the system believe that they can, and the adults working in their life know, hey, it's possible for you to make a meaningful connection. One goal I had in mind, and it was the National CASA Conference, and I wrote that goal down 10 years ago, and today that goal becomes a reality. Yeah! Listen. And so I got off the phone. The next day I went to my guidance counselor and I said, Miss, and she looked at me and she said, Chad, is that you? And I said, yes, ma'am. Now keep in mind, this is a small town, Texas. See, she saw me as a file. She didn't see me as a life, because every life has value, was worth her time, was worth even an opportunity. But it's very easy to close the door on a file. How many of us see a file and determine this family, this child, this case, this is what it's going to be because we've seen it happen hundreds of times? Here's the thing, though. She didn't understand that my life had value. Some of you don't understand that your life has value, that where you are right now, it's not an accident, that even you have value, and the children and families that you serve, their lives have value no matter how dark the circumstances that they are currently in.
So many of us, man, we've been through so much. You've been beat down, you've been kicked down. You have been led to believe that all of the things that you've been through in your life don't matter. That somehow the trauma and the pain that you felt is just going to go for waste. But listen, I am living proof. I'm standing here right now. This is a dream I wrote down 10 years ago. I had no idea what was going to happen, but what I'm telling you is this, is that if you're willing to dream bigger than whatever your environment is, if you're ever willing to see past what your circumstances are, then anything is possible. What we have to be willing to do is just take a step. Take one step, put it in front of the other to dream big enough, and then be willing to walk through that dream. And if you do that, then anything is possible. And I'm here today just to tell you that it is.
Just engage and speak life into the most hopeless of situations, to see these young people as lives and not files. Then I promise you, you can do anything, and it's enough. Thank you guys for your time.